You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots, you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. First timer on Ron Siegel Radio, author Stacey Robbins is in the house. Welcome.
Woohoo. Hey, Ron. Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. This could be a problem, though. Well, the first one is not bad. National Random Acts of Kindness Day. I like that one. We can act kind every day. But when you're doing it for a random reason without any other motive in mind, that's more exciting to me. But today's also National Cabbage Day. Now, that one, I tend to like cabbage, but there's sometimes some problems with cabbage.
Damn!
Yeah, that could be do we have Beano to go with that? This is National Cabbage Day. Is that also known as National Flatulence Day? I don't know, but yeah, bad news right there. But it is looking up because I always like to look ahead. I'm not big on looking backwards. We look ahead, and tomorrow is one of my favorite days of the year. Of course, I think every day is National Wine Day. So tomorrow is National Drink Wine Day. I guess I'm going to have to go out and get I guess I just have to go out to the garage because I got a big wine fridge in my garage. What's your favorite wines? Put that in there. If you're a wino like me, not that kind of a wino, but if you're a wino like me, put that in the comment section. Now, you might have to go to www.streamyard.com/Facebook, I think is the term, and give them the authorization to let us know who you are. That way I know what kind of wine you like. www.streamyard.com/Facebook. And just put in there your favorite wine. Austin Hope 2017 is one that I have a preference for. But, if it's not Austin Hope and it's some other good wine, I'm there too. My friend Toby James, Tobin James is the name of the winery. That's a good one as well. Epic, Parrish, Turley, what's it, Josh? I forgot Josh's name. I'm friends with him, and I forgot the name of his winery. That's a problem. I think Kelly's gonna Jacob Toft. I knew that. Kelly would get mad at me now that I blew that and did not mention the correct name. Right, Jacob Toft, another great one out there. Maybe we should do a show on wine. Josh, we gotta get Michael Cox in here. I'm going through. I'm going to send him an email that I'm going through withdrawals. Speaking of withdrawals, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is withdrawing 366 of its points, down 366.91. S&P 500 down 50. NASDAQ down 223 points. Gold is up. Yeah, $27 an ounce. Surprisingly, Oil is down $1.84. Why would that be down $1.84? Do you think that means that we get to pay less for gas? I doubt it. Let's just take a look. We've got to check it out on a regular basis to see what's going on the gas market. And I'm not talking about cabbage right now. Guys, don't go there. But why is it Lori's prices are going down on gasoline still? Our tremendous underwriter, Lori, $3.29.9 a gallon. I don't get it. Jody's at $3.71 a gallon. Josh, you took a big jump. You're at $3.93 a gallon. And right here in the formerly Golden State, we're paying $4.72 a gallon of gasoline.
Ow!
Can we vote? Can we reelect Gavin Newsom? Maybe we can get more taxes. I think I got a button for him.
Such an idiot.
Oh, don't
Such
say
an
that about our
idiot.
governor. That's
Such
the president.
An idiot.
No, we better not say that about the president either. Did you see his latest comments from our president of the United States? Now, think about this. I've told you that inflation, and it's not my number, it's just the numbers that come out. Inflation is going crazy. We talked about the numbers of what's going on, and just in gasoline alone, what the prices of gasoline are doing. And I told you, or I shared with you, that gasoline prices on the national or year from a year ago, and it makes me ill when I look at it, but I have to share. $4.72.5 a gallon of gasoline right now in the formerly Golden State. 1 year ago today, $3.48.5. So we're up about $1.30 a gallon. But the president, and now that's inflation, right? That is the definition of inflation. Prices going up 7.5%. We talked about the producer price index yesterday going up over 9%. What is the definition of inflation? It's too much money chasing too few goods. So what is the solution to inflation? Remember, too much money chasing too few goods. So the president's solution, let's spend more money. Where does this come from? Can you figure this out?
Idiot.
Right? This is completely backwards. We have to spend less government spending. That's why the Federal Reserve is talking about raising interest rates on their discount rate. That's why the Federal Reserve is removing liquidity from the marketplace, removing liquidity, removing money. Yet the president says, let's just print some more. He has no clue that that's what's going to cause more inflation. That's what's going to cause, right now we already went from ribeye to ground chuck. We might be going to dog food soon. Think about that. I mean, there's a lot of people that live paycheck to paycheck. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. Yet the president, wait a second. His salary as president is $400,000 a year. When he was in the Senate, I think he capped out at about $174,000. And he's a multi-gazillionaire after being 50 years in the service of the country. Wonder how that happened. But maybe it's because, does he have inside information on what's going to happen soon? I wonder what he's going to talk. Maybe he and Fauci are getting together and they're going to come out with another vaccine that we need. And they're going to tell everyone that go buy some more Pfizer stock. I don't know. That could be the case. Unbelievable where this is going. But hey, we keep on spending money. Maybe we'll figure some of these things out. Maybe the government won't figure any of this stuff out because they're clueless. You got a president who's not quite sure in his 1 hour of work every day, how in the world does he come up with so many ways to mess up the country? I don't get it. And then he thinks that President Putin is going to respect him and listen to him and not invade Ukraine. Really? Do you think that the president of Mr. Putin, I think, works all day. And the president, I think he's out on the beach all day by himself with his mask. Did you hear that Disneyland, they came out with a new thing? You don't have to wear a mask at Disneyland anymore unless you have to wear a mask. That was the report on the news this morning. So no more masks at Disneyland unless you're on some sort of transportation that's indoors. Okay, so I'm going to get on the bus going from the parking lot to the park. And is that indoors? But you have to wear a mask there. I don't understand that one. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, 4 reasons why this is not a housing bubble. We will chat about it. What is a credit limit? How is it determined? And what credit cards offer the higher limits? We're going to chat about that, as well as we're going to learn about an unconventional life where messes and magic collide. I don't know about the magic part, but I can talk about messes very well. You reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You've got the phone. Make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's take a look. Yes, there are operators standing by. I should have mentioned that. The Dow Jones now down 397 points. NASDAQ down 257 points. S&P 500 down 52 points. 10-year Treasury, that's down 6 basis points on the rate, down to 1.98. Mortgage-backed securities up 31 basis points. That means interest rates are dropping. That's a good thing. People like to see that one. Why? Well, initial jobless claims measures individuals filing unemployment benefits for the very first time was reported at 248,000 claims for the last week. This represents an increase of 23,000 from the previous revised report of 225,000 and above expectations. Housing starts for January were reported at 1.638 million unit pace, which is down 70,000 from last month's revised report of 1.708 million. Housing permits, which are a good indicator of future starts, increased to 1.899 million, up 14,000 from last month's revised figure. Let's see what else we've also got today. Yes, we did get the report today. I told you it was coming. That's not that I'm so smart. It comes out every Thursday. Freddie Mac told us what's going on in the interest rate market. Their number, 3.92% interest. You have to pay 0.8 of a point to get that. That's the Freddie Mac rate as of today. Last year, this date, 2.81. So down over 1.125 down last year at this time. So we've been taking a big jump up. What does that mean? Well, you should have been executing your plan right along. If you go to, I'll show you what I mean by that. I shared this a bit yesterday. RSR Real Estate PPF, Paul Frank. RSR Real Estate PPF, talking about demonstrating. If you had acted like I told you last year, what would have happened? You'd have bought a $500,000 house. If you didn't act last year, well, that house is now about $590,000, almost $600,000. And if you don't act now, next year it's going to be about $650,000. Payment would have been $2,700, going to about $4,200. You tell me what's best for you. That's the real-time real estate segment. Again, brought to you by the Area Trusted Real. I'm sorry, that's the Mortgage Minute. Just keeping Josh awake over there. That's a Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends over at Geneva Financial. Yes, you got to keep the host on. So Josh is going to get a buzzer or one of those what was that? Stacey, you might remember this one. There was some one of those comedies, and they had a electrocution in the seat,
Yes.
right? So Josh, you need that, right? When I go off on a wrong tangent or a rabbit hole, you push that button, electrocutes, and maybe you get back on track. I don't, but I'm probably more of a lost cause than that. But again, that's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. So let's chat about this, because I know nothing about an unconventional life. My wife probably feels that my wife probably could have been the co-author. Where Messes and Magic Collide. Stacey Robbins is the author and with us today.
Yes.
So tell us about your story a little bit, Stacey.
Yeah. So I have been living just a really unique and unconventional kind of life. I started off as a professional musician a million years ago at 15, and traveled around, worked with different agents, and I lived this music career.
You're not Harvey Weinstein, though.
I am definitely not.
Definitely just want to make sure that you're safe.
Yeah, super safe in a closed room with Ron Siegel. Yeah. So I went from there to hitting a super huge health bump at around 27 and being told that I wasn't going to live.
Wow.
And I had to really kind of take my life into account and go, what's going on? And if I can make it through this, how can I live differently? And I examined a lot. I examined what was peaceful in my life, what wasn't, and what was driving me. And as a result, I came through that time and wrote a book called You're Not Crazy and You're Not Alone. And it was helping other women with autoimmune conditions. And, you know, the doctors told me, if you do live, you'll never have children. Well, they said never, ever. Never is almost 20 and ever is almost 18.
Wow.
And so a few years after I was given that daunting news, I did end up having 2 kids. And I've raised them in unconventional ways too. Because, you know, when you go through a big crisis in life, or several of them, as some of us have, you get perspective. And I was like, how can I raise my kids with the wisdom that I got from all of those unconventional experiences? So we raised them without TV. Without
TV. I hope they had radio.
We did have radio.
Okay.
Because both my husband and I are musicians. So we love music. And yeah, they were singing Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles and all that groovy stuff. And, you know,
there's some people that don't even remember who those guys are.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, you and Mary can work that out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what we did is, as I was moving them along in their upbringing, I was like, how can I keep them connected to themselves? Because I see a lot of things in our media or in our world that disconnect us from who we are. And then
disconnect us from everything. Look at the phones nowadays.
Yeah. Well, the end result is we disconnect from each other, and we have these illusions of connection. You know, like I'm talking to people on text all the time, and it's like, but I haven't seen them and they live 3 miles away, you know? And it's like,
my kids seem to talk to each other by text when they're at the dinner table.
Yeah.
That might be a little,
yeah. Do we need to have a therapy session? I can do that too. But what I did was,
Josh, you'll get there. Your kids will start talking to each other by text at dinner.
Yeah. It'll be like binary code, back to binary code at that point. But what's happened is I have these kids who are really super unique. I just gave them their phones a year ago. So at 18
and 20, they just got their phones.
They just got their phones last year, and I gave them flip phones. Because the thing is that, you know how you see the tops of everybody's head? It's like, I can see everybody, but I want to see your eyes. And so I was like, no, I don't want you to have a phone. I want you to know how to communicate. So when I would take them, we had this really weird...
But who do they communicate with? No one else is communicating with. They have to communicate within the family. That's it.
Well, yeah, within the family and with other, you know, aliens like themselves, because there are other people. And you do notice that when you're looking up and you see the other people who are looking up too.
Really?
So
I hadn't noticed any.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I was
looking
looking
You need to
down.
get off your phone. Well, what happened is we took them to Italy several years ago to live there after we hit some big bumps here and my husband's division was sold, and everybody lost their jobs. And I had a kid who was injured and in a wheelchair temporarily. I had another kid who was recovering from bullying at his school. And I was like, good Lord, you know what? I'm going to take y'all to Italy. Let's sell almost everything. Let's leave the place we're renting in Newport. Let's do a cross-country book tour. And when we get to the other side of the country, let's buy one-way tickets to Europe and live there, because you don't have to heel down the street from where everything fell apart. Like, you can have gelato and wine. My favorite wine, anything in Italy. That's my favorite wine, right?
Okay.
For tomorrow.
There we go.
It's a location wine.
Oh, so if you bring in wait a second. I couldn't even I shouldn't say that. There's certain wines I might not want to bring to Italy to drink there.
Yeah. Well,
and they're within the sound of my voice, so I better be careful.
So what we've done is we've raised these kids. And I remember when we were there, they were like, Mom, but what if we get lost? We don't have a phone and we're not fluent in Italian. I'm like, find a child. They're taught English in the schools. Talk to a child and say, hey, can you talk to your parent and help me find my way back? I'm like, we're not in a ghetto. We're in Florence. You're safe. It's okay to be lost. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to find your way. And I feel like those are some lost arts, and that's kind of unconventional these days, right?
That's absolutely unconventional. I'm not sure a lot of people would have the guts to go do something like that.
Yeah, well, we did, and it's added to their life. And when you meet them, like the people who are coming to our event at a healingexperience.life, we've got coming up in on March 19th, they're going to see.
Now, wait a second. You've got a website for an unconventional event.
No, yeah.
Okay, that's just me. I just throw that out there.
It's a healingexperience.life, and it's an event that we're doing in person in Tustin, or you can see it anywhere in the world, live stream. And Seth, who is 17, is going to be talking about affirmations and the importance of affirmations and how they changed his life. And then Caleb, my 19-year-old, has this gift for seeing colors in people. And he's an energy healing artist, and he can literally see what's stuck in someone's body and help move it to optimize well-being. It's
on National Cabbage Day. We are talking about that might be a problem here.
Bring the air freshener.
Exactly.
So it's just great.
What does that mean? You have to explain that to me. You can see the colors in somebody.
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit, because I'm missing up on that one.
This is super cool. So when he was little, here's the background. He was little, he was 5 years old, and he'd say, Mama, the vitamin bottles on the counter, he'd go, Mama, this one has lightning bolts in it. This one's good for me. This one doesn't have lightning bolts. And I was like, okay. Or he'd be sitting behind me in the car, and we'd be driving on the freeway, and it'd be stressy, and I wouldn't say anything. And he's like, Mama, it's okay. You don't have to be anxious. And I'm like, I never said one thing. And he's sitting behind me in a car seat. And
wow.
When he was like 7 years old,
hate to see what he would say about my wife driving. Oh, but thank goodness she's not listening.
Well, it's LA, crazy driving, So I took him to Sedona, and he grabbed an amethyst from a gem store, and he just said, Mama, this is a healing stone. He tied it to his stick, and he went up to this random woman in the store, started scanning all over her body like it was some kind of wand, landed at, and she's smiling like, oh, isn't he cute? Blonde hair, blue eyes, eyelashes, like spiders died in his eyes. So like, and she goes, what's he doing? And I said, I don't know. And suddenly goes to her knee, and he said, you have an owie right here. And he paused with the stone, and she looked at me, and she was like, I do. And he started just kind of moving it around, and he was really quiet. And he said, you're going to be better in about 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's pretty specific.
So he came to me at 13, and he said, Mom, I think I'm an empath. And I said, how do you even know what that means? And he said, well, I feel what other people are feeling. He said, when I exhale, my heart leaves my body and it travels around the room, and I can feel what other people are feeling.
Wow.
So this kid, it turned a few years later into synesthesia, which is what it's called when you can see colors in someone, and he can see.
I can't even spell. I'm not sure I can even say that, no less spell it.
Synesthesia. It's not a spelling bee today. You're good. Synesthesia. No, I can't say it. Thanks a lot, Ron.
Oh, sorry.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
Synesthesia. And that's what he can do. He can see colors in people, and he can move those energies, and it doesn't even have to be up close. He doesn't have to sit in the same room with you. He's literally done it from thousands of miles away. And I can tell you stories. You tell me when we have a minute to tell a story.
Holy cow. I don't know. Maybe he's going to tell me why my back hurts. I don't know, but you're listening. I'm sure he's not going to tell me I'm thin. Can he make me thin in 7 minutes?
I would have asked him a long time ago to do that for me. Are you kidding?
Okay. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More with Stacey Robbins when we come back. 4 reasons why this is not a housing bubble. What is a credit limit? How is it determined? What credit cards offer the highest limits? Should you have a high limit on your credit card? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. Find out exactly what the county recorder knows about your property, what the market believes about your property. And it's a gift from Ron Siegel Radio. You pay absolutely nothing to get this information. It's an email once a month from us to you. Let's take a look at some graphs. I want to show you why this is not a housing bubble. What's the best way for me to do that? Well, if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our social channels, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 KMET video feed, we're going to show you some graphs as I go through the report. A recent survey revealed that many consumers believe there's a housing bubble beginning to form. That feeling is understandable as year-over-year home price appreciation is still in the double digits. However, this market is very different than it was during the housing crash 15 years ago. 4 key reasons why today is nothing like the last time. Number one, houses are not unaffordable like they were during the housing boom. The affordability formula has 3 components: the price of the home, wages earned by the purchaser, and the mortgage rate available at the time. Conventional lending standards say a purchaser should not spend more than 28% of their gross income on their mortgage payment. National, we spend a little more than that here in Southern California. 15 years ago, prices were high, wages were low, mortgage rates were over 6%. Today, prices are still high, wages, however, have increased, and the mortgage rate, even after the recent spike, is still well below 6%. That means the average purchaser today pays less of their monthly income toward their mortgage payment than they did back then. In the latest affordability report by Adam Data, Chief Product Officer Todd Teta addresses that exact point. Quote, the average wage earner can still afford the typical home across the U.S., but the financial comfort zone continues shrinking as home prices keep soaring and mortgage rates tick upward, unquote. Affordability isn't as strong as it was last year, but that's better than it was during the boom. And we've got that chart right up there on the screen. Home prices more affordable today than in 2007. Normal lending standard, 28%, as I mentioned. 2007, it was 34.1. Today, it's 25.8. If costs were so prohibitive, how did so many homes sell during the housing boom? Number 2, mortgage standards were much more relaxed during the boom. During the housing bubble, it was much easier to get a mortgage. If you could fog a mirror, you got a mortgage. As an example, let's review the number of mortgages granted to purchasers with scores under 620. According to credit.org, a credit score between 550 and 619 is considered poor. In defining those with the same score below 620, they explain, quote, credit agencies consider consumers with their delinquencies, account rejections, and little credit history as subprime borrowers due to their high credit risk. Buyers can still qualify for a mortgage with a score that low, but they're considered riskier borrowers. We've got that graph showing right now, and we've got the lending standards showing on the graph. Mortgage standards are nothing like they were the last time. Purchasers who acquired a mortgage over the last decade are much more qualified. Let's take a look at what that means going forward. The foreclosure situation is nothing like it was during the crash. We spoke about that earlier in the week. I'm not going to do it again right here, but just to say it, there's not a lot of houses in foreclosure right now. Now we know that it has to do with the pandemic, but there were 400,000 homes in foreclosure status before the pandemic started. They were all put on hold. Now there's only like 38,000 that are having problems in different areas. So much, much better off. Let's see. We don't have a surplus of homes on the market. We have a shortage of homes on the market. We've talked about that recently. We talked a lot about that with Sean Radcliffe yesterday. Supply of homes is nothing like last time. We've got a 1.8 month supply of homes nationally. In California, it's probably even less than that. Bottom line, if you're worried that we're making the same mistakes that led to the housing crash, I just gave you 4 compelling reasons why that's not so. I would like you to tell me why I'm wrong. Where am I wrong? Put it in the chat right there. Make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook so we know who you are and we can have a conversation about it. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com, and get your free report. Continue our conversation. Stacey Robbins is with us, author of, I guess, 2 books?
I have a couple books, yeah.
An Unconventional Life Where Messes and Magic Collide. And you're not crazy, and well, maybe I am. Most people say I am crazy, Stacey.
Well, you are.
Okay. You're not crazy and you're not alone. I am crazy and I'm not alone.
But you're the good kind of crazy.
Oh, okay. So that's good to know at least.
Yeah.
So before the break, you were talking about healing and colors and understanding how all that works. And I'm clueless in a lot of areas, but that's certainly one that I don't get. So explain that a little more to me.
Sure. I can tell it better in a story.
Okay.
So one of my coaching clients said to me, I'm in a lot of pain today, Stacey. And I said, okay, because I do health and mindset and relationship coaching. And I said, how can I help you today? And she said, I'm in a lot of pain. And I said, what way? She said, physical pain. And I kept hearing, ask Caleb, my 19-year-old, ask Caleb. And she said it again. And I'm thinking, how can I support her? Because physical pain is physical pain. I can work mindset. But I said, would you mind if I brought my son in? Because he has this ability to see what's going on in people and he can help support what's going on. And she's like, whatever would help right now. And so we're on the phone, we've got our phones and I can't see her. She's 3,000 miles away. And I said, Caleb, would you come in? He said, sure, Mom. And I said, I have a client. She's in need. I said, can you read her right now? And he said, sure. I said, do you want me to tell you anything about her? He said, no. So he sits there and he gets quiet and I'm thinking, I do not know all of what's going to happen right now. And she can't see him or anything. And he just
kind of like we have every day on live radio. We
right.
never know what's going to happen.
And so he starts doing this and he starts doing this motion of cutting near his hand, like up by his sleeve, the base of his sleeve on his t-shirt. He said, you know where your t-shirt hits your bicep? And she said, yes. And he said, it's all red there. And he said, and then you go up your shoulder and it's black. And he said, you go up your neck, it's red again. And then it's causing headaches. And she was quiet. And I said, is it your right arm? And she said, yes. And I'm crying. And he said, let me, and I said, Caleb, what can we do? And he said, let me treat her. And he lifts up his arm. I have a videotape of it. I have a photo of it because I couldn't video while I was on the phone with her. And he's doing this. And suddenly he starts moving his hand back and forth across his arm that only I can see. And she said, Caleb, are you rotating my arm? Because my arm is moving. And he said, whoa, yes. Well, so her pain had been at a level 8 at the beginning of our call because I asked her to rate her pain. At the end of our call, after those 10 minutes with Caleb, she said it was at a 4. And then a little while later, she texted me and said it was at a 1. And then at dinner time, she said, well, I had a glass of wine. Now it's at 0. But here's the thing. It moved her to get back to her doctor because she had an injury where she tripped over a dog and hurt herself and all this stuff. And she didn't know that in the surgery, they actually were going to need to reattach something. And her bicep muscle was torn right there where he saw. And the doctor didn't know it until they went in to do the surgery. So he saw things that no one else saw. And he was able to support her in her pain. And did it heal everything? No, but it opened her up to a solution while she was, out of all the physical distress. and she was able to be helped. She is as good as gold these days.
That's pretty amazing.
It's amazing. And that's just one of probably 50 stories I could tell you in the next few minutes. But
That's pretty fascinating stuff. I have no idea how any of that stuff works. I guess it's magic.
yeah.
What's that big magic show that they have out there in Vegas, Josh? I mean, they had to have him come out there.
David Copperfield?
No,
or-
it's the two guys. I forgot
Oh.
their name, and I love them. They're great.
Not Penn and Teller.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
him.
Penn and
Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
And you know what is it? Teller that doesn't talk. So you know, Caleb can do that for him. He can tell him what's going on.
Caleb has a lot of words.
Wow, that's pretty fascinating. How those things are. I've never studied any of that. Never spent much time with them. My wife loves that stuff.
Oh, does she?
Oh, she and her friends hire psychics to come into their cocktail parties, I think is what they. Well, they call them events, but I do these
I like
things.
those kind of events. Well,
Yeah.
tell her to call me because Caleb is really a conversation piece.
Caleb for hire.
Yeah.
You might tell them some things that they don't want to know in a public setting. Might be a problem there with that. It's
Well, he's very gracious and he's very discreet. So he asked somebody, may I share this? And so when we're at the event that we're having a healing experience on March 19th, he will ask people and they'll have a little thing on their name tag that gives him permission to either share or not. But he is very discreet. And when you meet him, I can't wait for the day you meet him because he's so full of love that you feel it. It's like being in the sunshine. You feel warm and it's so lovely. That's what it's like being with him.
that's pretty fascinating stuff. I mean, I never understand how the hocus pocus works, but there's people that everybody's got a gift.
Yes.
And the beauty is apparently is Caleb has found his gift and understands it
Yeah.
and is using it hopefully for all kinds of good causes.
He really is. If we could get him into the children's hospital, he would. And when he was a kid, it was so precious. He would run if he saw even a stranger fall on the playground. He would go over. I remember him saying to me, "Mom, Aiden's not going to be in school tomorrow." He said there's something all around him, and he goes, "And I'm getting a headache when I think about him." He was 7 or 8 years old. The next day, Aiden wasn't in school. He had a fall, and Caleb didn't know. Caleb didn't know anything about it. It's kind of crazy. The gifts when kids are connected, when we as humans are connected to ourselves, we do become more connected to each other.
Well, the fascinating part so many times with these things is that at that age, you as a parent allowed him to continue on that mission.
Yeah.
And so frequently that which we don't understand, we don't like, and we try and push our kids and our family away from those things
That's a great
because
point.
it's not in the mainstream of the world.
It's not conventional.
Yeah.
And when I was younger and I had similar gifts as Caleb, my parents, Italians from New Jersey, and it's like, no, just come on. And I'm like, I remember being at a Barnum and Bailey circus and saying, I was like 8 years old, maybe 7, and saying to my parents, we have to leave. There's going to be a fight. And my parents were like, oh, eat your popcorn. We're fine. Watch the elephants. And then literally within like 3 or 4 minutes, these 2 men stood up a few rows in front of us and started knocking each other out. And my parents just looked at me like, how did you know? And I'm like, I don't know, but they didn't know what to do with me. They loved me,
Sure.
of course, but I was like an alien. And that kind of experience allowed me to understand my son better when he came to me.
That's fascinating stuff. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, more with Stacey Robbins. We've got our Your Credit Matters segment. What is credit limit? How is it determined? What credit cards offer the highest limits? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Is it a healingexperience.com? .life.
.life, a healing experience.
It's right here on my notes, and I have trouble reading, so it does say a healingexperience.life. So we're going to talk more with Stacey Robbins when we come back. You can reach me anytime again, off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Sorry, the button didn't push. Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? How is a credit limit determined? What plays an important role for millions of credit card users across the country? It's a factor that influences credit card use and by its role in determining credit utilization, your credit score as a whole. So understanding your credit limit and how a credit card issuer sets is very important. But what exactly is a credit limit? How is it determined by a credit card issuer? Credit card limit is the maximum amount of credit available for a customer to use. Virtually all credit-related products, from credit cards to lines of credit, have a limit in place to ensure users don't borrow beyond their means. This limit, I just lost the place here. This limit can range from several $100s to tens of thousands of dollars. In the United States, the average credit card holder has a limit of just over, what's your guess? Put it in the chat. $22,000 based on a combined total of all credit cards. When you're approved for a new credit card, you're offered a specific interest rate and credit limit. For example, if you have a moderate income and short credit history, you might be offered a higher interest rate and a relatively low limit, such as maybe $1,000. Someone with a more substantial income and a long credit history may receive a higher limit, such as maybe 10 grand. Some lending products have a maximum limit in place regardless of the user. Others offer variable limits based on personal circumstances. In many cases, there's no way to use a credit limit in excess of the limit. In such cases, attempting to make a purchase that brings your card above the limit results in the transaction being denied. In other cases, you might be able to purchase above the limit, but you'll be charged a fee and maybe charged an additional fee for every billing cycle you're above the limit. So why does it matter? Credit limit serves to limit purchases based on issuer standards, but it also plays a role in credit utilization. That's the one key component in calculating your credit score. You need to understand, what does the utilization mean? So utilization, basically you have a $1,000 limit. You've got 900 spent. That's a 90% utilization. Utilization is 30% of your FICO score. That's accounted for 30% of that FICO score. So what should my credit limit be? Well, you probably want it to be as high as you can get it, as long as you have self-control and don't spend it, because you want to make sure that you keep your credit card usage, your limit usage, your utilization rate below 30%. That's the magic number, below 30%. If you can, keep it below 10%. And we did do a segment, Josh, we'll have to find that one, on how to pay your credit score properly to maximize your FICO score. We've got that done. We've got if you want that, just send an email, rj@ronsiegelradio.com. So most cards have a maximum limit allowable, but some offer extremely higher unlimited limits that let cardholders spend indiscriminately. Be aware that these kind of cards are usually only available to applicants with high income and excellent credit. So we've got the Blue Cash Preferred card from American Express is one of them. There are also cards that are available to create credit, to build your credit. So Open Sky Secured Visa Credit is one of those. First Progress Platinum, easy for me to say today. First Progress Platinum Elite MasterCard, that's another secured one. And we've got a whole bunch of those others. Use your credit limit wisely. Don't spend beyond your means. That's a biggie right there. That's the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. They're all wrong. So we're going to continue our conversation. Stacey Robbins, author of You're Not Crazy, You're Not Alone. Oh, wait a second. That's the wrong book. I've got An Unconventional Life. I can't even see.
I wrote them both. You're
you wrote
good.
An Unconventional Life Where Messes and Magic Collide. Fascinating stuff. So what else are we going to do at this event?
Oh, the event is great because, we're all musicians. So we're going to sing great music. And my husband plays the saxophone. Both boys sing, play percussions, piano, guitar. I mean, it's really like the Partridge Family. But there's four of us.
You're dating yourself.
I know.
Gosh, Partridge Family was an old show.
I was going to say Brady, but
from our younger audience, that was a show that was, boy, even the Partridges are all now on Social Security.
Are they even alive?
Some of them.
Anyway, but we're going to do music. And then Seth is going to give a message on affirmations, and he's going to help teach people how to build their own affirmation, because of the power of words and your mind, and belief and repetition is all really valuable. He's 17. He learned that when he was 11. And he's been employing that for years. And I'll tell you that it's really been effective these last 2 years when the world's gone mad, to be able to tell yourself good things and truth and stay clear on the inside. And so that's a really valuable thing to know. And then I'm going to be giving a message to people as well. I spent my career, within my music career, speaking to groups all over the country and in Canada. That's what I did. I led retreats or special events, or was a keynote speaker. Yes. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Yeah, don't you know? And
out and about.
Out and about. Out and about.
That's
yeah.
it. Okay.
And then my husband plays sax, and he's going to be doing great things. And Caleb is going to be doing energy healing. We're also going to do a family panel, because people do have a lot of questions, and they want to know, how do you function this way? How do you heal from things that hurt, whether it's in your past or just the last 2 years collectively, the injury many of us have gone through with isolation and information and so on and so forth. So
now, you said that Caleb can help people from thousands of miles away. So maybe
Yes.
he can help the president and the governor. That's a different subject, though.
Yeah,
We don't want to cause that problem.
we want to
Okay,
have
so when is the event? It's the
March 19th.
March 19th.
From 9 to 1:30. It's in Tustin at the Unity Church in Tustin. And we also have it live on live stream.
Live stream.
Yeah, there you go. So across the world.
Worldwide Caleb.
Yes.
That sounds fascinating. If you want more information, you've got the site right there on the screen, ahealingexperience.life, ahealingexperience.life, March 19th. I should write that down so I don't ask for the 17th time.
You can ask
that it's
a
on
million
March
times.
19th. I guess I got to get March 19th. And is there a cost to it?
Yes, there is. And right now it's the early bird special. So it's
Early bird gets the worm.
That's right. So up until February 19th, you get the early bird price, and I think it's $95, and the online price is $45. So this is the time to secure.
You have 2 days to get it.
And we've got a VIP event. Oh, which you and your wife would love. It's going to be wine and charcuterie, and Caleb doing energy healing, and it'll be at a beautiful home locally.
Nice. So if you want more information on this, just go to the website, ahealingexperience.life, ahealingexperience.life. March 19th is the event. Get registered in the next 2 days. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean, who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Over the limit, I'd like to call him something. I think I'll just